India, the world's largest democracy, stands as a testament to the human spirit's yearning for freedom and self-determination. With over 1 billion voices, it is a symphony of diverse cultures, languages, and traditions, all united under the banner of democracy. From the ashes of colonialism, India rose, embracing democracy as its guiding light. The struggle for independence was not just a fight for territory, but a fight for the right to self-govern, to choose one's own destiny. The Constitution, a document of unparalleled vision and inclusivity, enshrined the fundamental rights of every citizen, regardless of caste, creed, or religion. It was a promise of equality and justice, a blueprint for a new nation. For decades, India held its head high, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. Its democratic institutions, though tested, stood resilient, reflecting the will and aspirations of its people. Through free and fair elections, the power rested with the people, their voices echoing through the halls of parliament. Each vote cast was a reaffirmation of faith in the democratic process, a step towards a more inclusive and just society. The judiciary, a pillar of justice, stood as a guardian of the Constitution, protecting the rights of the weakest and holding the powerful accountable. It was a system designed to ensure that no one was above the law. This commitment to democratic values was not without its challenges. Political upheavals, social unrest, and economic disparities tested the nation's resolve. India, a nation of immense diversity, faced its share of social and economic disparities. Yet, it was this very diversity that became its strength, fostering a spirit of unity and resilience. Yet, through it all, the flame of democracy continued to burn brightly, fueled by the unwavering belief in the power of the people. The collective will of the nation, expressed through peaceful protests and active participation, kept the democratic spirit alive. India's journey, while not without its stumbles, remained a testament to the enduring strength of democratic ideals. It is a story of perseverance, of a nation's unwavering commitment to the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. In recent years, however, a shadow has fallen over India's democratic landscape. The country's once celebrated commitment to democratic principles has been called into question. The alarm bells are ringing, warning of a steady erosion of the very values that once defined India. Global indicators paint a worrying picture. India's ranking on the Global Democracy Index has plummeted, a stark reflection of the decline in democratic freedoms. The World Press Freedom Index tells a similar story, with India's position hitting a new low. These rankings are not mere numbers, they are a reflection of the lived realities of millions of Indians. The erosion has been gradual, almost imperceptible at first. Institutions that were once considered the bedrock of Indian democracy have come under increasing pressure. The space for dissent has shrunk, with voices of criticism often met with intimidation and hostility. The promise of equality and justice for all seems to be fading, replaced by a climate of fear and uncertainty. The Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, under the leadership of Narendra Modi, rose to power in 2014, promising economic development and a resurgent India. This victory was seen as a turning point, with many hoping for a new era of growth and prosperity. Modi's charismatic leadership and the BJP's strategic campaigning played a crucial role in their sweeping success. Their victory, however, marked a significant shift in the country's political landscape. The BJP's rise to power was not just a change in government, but a transformation in the political ethos of the nation. The BJP, with its roots in Hindu nationalism, brought with it an ideology that often stood at odds with the secular and pluralistic fabric of India. This ideological shift has had profound implications for the country's social and political dynamics. Since assuming power, the BJP has been accused of systematically undermining democratic institutions. Allegations of eroding the independence of the judiciary, manipulating media narratives, and stifling dissent have been rampant. Critics argue that the party has used its majority in parliament to push through legislation that weakens checks and balances. These legislative changes have sparked widespread debate and concern among political analysts and the general public alike. Independent institutions crucial for holding the government accountable have been subjected to pressure and intimidation. Reports of interference in the functioning of these institutions have raised alarms about the health of India's democracy. Furthermore, concerns have been raised about the BJP's use of divisive rhetoric and policies that appeal to a narrow Hindu base. This approach has been criticized for fostering an environment of exclusion and division. This has led to an atmosphere of intolerance and polarization, where minorities feel increasingly marginalized and vulnerable. The social fabric of the nation appears to be fraying under the weight of these divisive policies. The BJP's brand of politics, critics argue, is fundamentally at odds with the inclusive spirit of the Indian constitution. As the nation grapples with these changes, the debate over the future direction of India's democracy continues to intensify. A free and independent press is the cornerstone of any democracy. It acts as a watchdog, holding those in power accountable and ensuring transparency. In India, however, the press is facing an unprecedented crisis. Journalists who dare to criticize the government or expose wrongdoing are often targeted, intimidated, and silenced. India's ranking on the World Press Freedom Index has plummeted in recent years, a clear indication of the deteriorating state of press freedom. The government has been accused of using a range of tactics to stifle dissent, including slapping journalists with frivolous lawsuits, denying them access to information, and using online trolls to harass and intimidate them. The chilling effect of this crackdown is undeniable. Many journalists, fearing for their safety and careers, are resorting to self-censorship. Critical voices are being silenced, and the space for public debate is shrinking. This assault on press freedom is a direct attack on democracy itself, for without a free press there can be no accountability. The judiciary, entrusted with upholding the Constitution and protecting the rights of all citizens, is another institution facing serious challenges. In recent years, the independence of the judiciary has come under intense scrutiny, raising alarms among legal experts and the general public alike. The judiciary is supposed to act as a bulwark against any form of tyranny, ensuring that the rule of law prevails over the whims of those in power. Concerns have been raised about the growing influence of the executive branch on the judiciary, eroding its independence and impartiality. This encroachment threatens to undermine the very essence of democracy, where the separation of powers is a fundamental principle. The executive's overreach into judicial matters has sparked debates and protests, with many fearing that the judiciary is losing its ability to function without bias. Critics point to instances where judges known for their independence have been sidelined, while those perceived as being close to the government have been elevated to key positions. This selective elevation raises questions about the criteria used for judicial appointments and whether meritocracy is being sacrificed for political expediency. Such actions not only demoralize the judiciary but also send a chilling message to those who dare to stand up for judicial independence. Delays in hearing sensitive cases involving government officials and the reluctance to hold those in power accountable have further fueled concerns about the judiciary's ability to act as an effective check on the executive. These delays are not just procedural hiccups, they represent a deeper malaise within the system, where justice delayed is often justice denied. The backlog of cases and the slow pace of judicial proceedings erode public confidence in the legal system. The erosion of judicial independence has profound implications for the rule of law in India. When judges are seen as extensions of the executive, the very concept of justice becomes tainted. The judiciary must remain an impartial arbiter, free from external pressures, to ensure that every citizen receives a fair trial and that the laws of the land are applied uniformly. When the judiciary is perceived as being susceptible to pressure from the government, it undermines public trust in the entire justice system. This perception can lead to a dangerous erosion of faith in democratic institutions, where people begin to believe that justice is not blind, but rather swayed by political interests. The long-term consequences of such a belief can be devastating for the social fabric of the nation. Citizens lose faith in their ability to seek redress through legal means, and the very foundation of a just and equitable society is weakened. When people feel that the courts are no longer a venue for impartial justice, they may resort to other means to resolve their grievances, which can lead to social unrest and instability. It is imperative that steps are taken to restore and preserve the independence of the judiciary to maintain the integrity of the justice system and uphold the rule of law. In recent years, the silencing of dissent has become alarmingly prevalent. Voices that challenge the status quo are often met with suppression, be it through legal means or social intimidation. This growing trend threatens the very essence of democratic discourse. One particularly chilling example of government overreach involves the misuse of surveillance and law enforcement. Citizens find themselves under constant watch and activists face unwarranted arrests. Such actions erode public trust and stifle the spirit of free expression. Yet amid these challenges, there is hope. Across the nation, people are rising in defense of their values. From grassroots movements to organized protests, citizens are making their voices heard. This collective action serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience and strength inherent in a democratic society. Now, more than ever, it is crucial for each of us to take a stand. Whether through voting, activism, or simply staying informed, every action counts. Together, we can work to safeguard our democratic principles and ensure that the voice of the people remains strong and unwavering.